name is Vijay Upreti. I come from Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, where I did my education. I did my entire education there itself. I am a science graduate. Then I started because at our time, this IT was just evolving, so that became an interest area for everyone. Before that, actually, I did a sort of for a short while as a contractor. I was a radio announcer in All India Radio. That was, I think, for 1.5 years. It was, and I was more into interviewing and comparing and editing and those kind of a thing. And I had done a couple of there was a program called U Warning, so that I used to run there. But then I actually came to Pune to my brother, and that's where I started looking for opportunities around and all. So because coming from a small town, obviously I had to hunt around for new opportunities and all. And that's why I started doing some computer course, because that was the budding thing. This I'm talking about year 1994. So that's like the time when I started doing some learning on, and that's why it made me more fancy that I think that's the area I should be looking to go around. So I did some programming on C, Unix and those kind of areas. And that's why my actually IT journey started with. Then from there, I got my first job that I think somewhere in 1996 I got my first job. That was IT company called Data Pro Information. I was there for somewhere I think around 3.5 years. A lot of learning on that, and this is what I would always say, that whenever you get into any of your first job or initial path of your career, you have to put 100% what you can. It's not that you should not put later on, but that's a growth time, that's a learning time for anyone. So put as much as effort, and I would be there. There was some time actually I was there in office for 3 days continuously. So because in Ganpati, I think in Pune, I mean most of my colleagues would be on leave and all. So I would be there in the office, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I did a lot of learning. So it was a good experience. And then from there on, I just went on to one company to other. From there I joined. There was a scientific institute called IUCA in Pune. So Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics. So that's where I worked there. I was working there in their computer department as a project officer. That's where I joined, but that was a contractual position. And from there, then I moved, and that contract got expired almost a year. Then I joined Techem, which was Mahindra British Telecom at that time. Then I went to UK from there, and I was in UK for around 8.5 years. Then I came to India. In between, I joined Sun Microsystem, and then in UK I was with Cable and Wireless, British Telecom. There was an ISP called Bulldog Broadband at that time. So, and I was primarily into background data centers, Unix platform, and I was a core Unix person and all. And then finally at end of 2010 or something, I came to India, and then I am settled here in India. And since then I joined first organization as Target, and then after Target I joined Wipro. And in between I did my independent consulting as well for some time, for a couple of years. Then I again joined this DXC technology. That's where I am now. So yeah, this is about me. I think lot of things, few things I always cherish as a part of my personal growth as well. So I'm a music lover. I play some of the instrument just for the sake of my own interest, not for anyone else. I play, and I mean, not like a Western and all, a pure Indian classical based kind of instrument. So I have learned something. I think in colleges I used to play a lot of harmonium and all for any of those programs. Then I play a little bit of piano. I play mouth organ. So some of the things I kind of enjoy as a part of my other. There are multiple kind of sources and books that is going to inspire you. But to be honest, nowadays I don't see student or this new generation is really kind of following the books very well. Rather they depend more on online courses kind of a thing. What I mean by books is like offline books, not really online. because if you are really looking to grow somewhere in your career, you should have this practice of actually reading the books and trying to understand that how things are going, rather than just being following instruction from the book to learn something around those areas. But I mean, there are some good books that I have been. I mean, it's difficult for me to really narrate the kind of books and all, but for learning, I would say that Udemy is really good from the technology perspective. Those are, because I'm into that domain, I would say that that's been the best for my own learning. Especially YouTube is obviously like free to anyone to do, and that's rather I would say that's my advice also to this young generation who are getting into this technology. Use this kind of all these social media for your learning rather than just for entertainment. YouTube can very well be used for your learning and can also waste your time for entire day. So make best use of what YouTube. But these are something that I see as an online. Offline, there are multiple books based on a specific area. Like at my time to learn C, I used to have this Cunningham Ritchie's book, right, which was known for C programming and all. For other technology and all, I would use specific books. But nowadays, most of the learning is through online. So I would say that these courses are going to help a lot. To be honest, I am actually a highly religious person. I come from a family where my father itself, like he has been he was a professor in Sanskrit, and the kind of culture and the kind of things he brought into entire family, that itself made a kind of change in our way of doing things and all. He has been inspiration for us. He is the one who actually been awarded twice by Honorable President of India. He has written 17 books in Sanskrit. So he is someone who we all family members look up to, based on the kind of dedication he has done it. So to be honest, I haven't really looked too far to really reach out to as an inspiration. Inspiration is at my home. My brother is there. Inspiration. We have a lot of people to inspire, get into. So I get inspired with even with child as well. If they are really doing something, these children are the way they are adopting technologies, they are actually rapidly learning. They become more inspiration for us. So to me, inspiration is more about looking at how things are adopted and how fast they are adopted, and that's the way I take it. Nowadays I see that students are getting little kind of they're trying to achieve pretty fast with a low kind of an effort they put in, but they need to little calm down, take its own pace, but put your focus right and be dedicated and be honest. Don't do just because you think that your parents are looking at you or your teachers are asking you to do something. Do what you're doing for yourself. And that being the teaching that we also had. And when we got to this, yes, it's been like successful journey for me as well. There are opportunities. I would rather say that look at the way economics are doing nowadays in the world, right? I mean, they are driving the economy to a different level altogether. Political science, one of the area that rather I would say that this country need good kind of politician to come forward, and they need to have that. Even if for UPSC exams and all, you need to have these kind of subject as a part of core. Then why have different thoughts around it? Somewhere we need to put our effort to tell them that how we can make these subject as more interesting than science only. Science is indeed interesting, but there is life beyond science as well. There are certain good things. I mean, look at music, look at arts. I mean, many other areas that somebody can look into. Sports. I mean, how many IPL? Look at it. I mean, students are coming from young kids are coming from school, colleges, and these things. They are as far as the money is concerned, they are getting all good monies. So the fact is that because the mere focus from the family or the peer has more towards like a package, is how much you are getting, what is your annual salary and all, rather than looking at what is your interest area. Because if somebody is getting into the interest area, money becomes secondary after that, because that definitely money will come if you are honest to what you are doing. Be an entrepreneur. Why you want to be just like getting into a job? Why you want to be depending on someone else? You can still be an entrepreneur. You can start like say there are subjects like psychology. Be like a best brain. Have your own followers. Do certain things that you wish to do. So there are areas, there are other areas, and I think as a family also we need to stop thinking that if somebody has chosen to get into science, other than science, then that's not something should be seen as, oh, because this kid has not done anything, you be sympathetic. I think that area should be encouraged onto, and there are a lot of opportunities, arts areas as well. Look at Sanskrit. I mean, how many we are getting as Sanskrit scholars. It's not only because we have never propagated these things, and there are a lot of opportunities for those who actually sort of get into Sanskrit or any other say Urdu, Farsi, like many languages you have choices on. Why not? So somewhere that mindset has to change socially, culturally, starting with political system to the local, at even at the family level also. Then I'm sure like the pressure on the student is not going to be that much. Then they know that they can do what their choices ask with. But unfortunately, it becomes as it end up with packages, salary, this, that, and all. And that is where I feel that if there is something of this kind of focus comes in, that we can tell them that these are the area, that's a growth area, that's a growth pattern. I'm sure they will have better choices in life. Yeah, so basically coming back to the like a time management part of it. So basically what you need to do is very first is to list down the tasks for a week or a day, depending on what different tasks are there, what activities are there, because in a given organization you may have different kind of activities, different kind of tasks and all, and then start prioritizing them, and once you prioritize it, start taking them off from your list, because if you just have a look at it, you'll never be able to manage your time well, right? So this is where I see that most of the failure on task management or like time management goes off, is because first they try to keep everything as part of their memory. They never note down the kind of the different priorities and tasks they have. It could be a small task, but they feel that it's a daily task for me, why should I note it down? But sometimes they realize that they lost the entire day and they forgot about it because they never actually tracked it. So keep a tracking of your task and then follow up on the task. These are the way you can actually manage your time better. Also, everything cannot be very important, and nothing more important than your life. So give a priority to your own kind of a life as well. Be healthy, be safe, keep yourself fit and fine before you actually commit for anything, because your productivity is going to be high if you are really fit, fine. Otherwise you will be a more challenge to the organization as well. So plan accordingly. Also, I would keep telling even my team members also, do some kind of meditation as well, because that helps you to be more focused onto what you're trying to do. Because give maybe just 10, 20, 30, half an hour of your time just to just focus on something, because that helps you to keep all your things out of way, and just your focus on some specific area that you really show interest onto. So these are the area that helps you for your time management as well. That's my take on those. Just sit somewhere on a peaceful area for some time, and just focus on something that you feel that that's going to make you happy, and that's where your focus will start getting into that. See, what is their dhyan is nothing but a focus, right? So dhyanam is part of when you are able to focus on something as an object or something as non-object kind of a thing. So close your eyes and just try to relax yourself as much as possible, and start with maybe just 5 minutes, increase that to 10, 20, 30 and all. At this tough time, I would say that even if you are able to spend half an hour of your time on those things, I think that's more than enough for someone to really start making their life as all day as a happy and peaceful life. But if you are not able to do that, then I think somewhere you feel you are too agitated, you are reacting too fast, you are not able to kind of give enough time before you react. So you try to react pretty fast on that. These meditation, dhyan and all always gives you this kind of a choice that before you react, just take a step back, think, and then you react it. Again, it's not ideal. It doesn't happen all the time, even to me as well. We are all human beings. At some point, we may get agitated, but your frequency of getting that may reduce based on that. And I have seen it get reduced, because if you are focused on something and if you have brought a different side of life, then you don't react every now and then kind of thing. You take a step back, think about it, and then make a call what has to be and how this will happen. Now, first you need to define what is growth. Okay, if you're looking for growth as a part of your salary package and your kind of a role and all, that's not in your hand. You do your job. There are like maybe 5 and 10 people around around you, maybe of the same ability, same kind of a skill. Someone has to be competitive around it, and you need to find your way out. But to me, if you ask me, as a part of growth, you're self-learning, you're doing something that make you happy, you are able to have a say balance of life and work both. I think that's a growth to me. How much have you learned? I mean, I keep telling my team as well that after a month or 6 months, when you look back, you should feel proud that you have achieved something. You added a new skill, you are able to bring new friends, you are able to mentor somebody to make their career growing. These are kind of a growth to me. See, money and kind of organizational structure and all, you will have a choice. If you are really skilled, if not in this organization, other organization will be able to welcome you. But is there a guarantee that you are really going to get something there as well? Maybe just 1 year. Who knows it after next year? It's going to be the same thing. So you need to separate out your thought on growth as to what is your kind of idea of growth. See, I mean, as a human being itself, right? We are a social animal. Within the animal kingdom, why we are different from others is because we are socially connected to each other. So that means the networking starts from there itself, right? Rather now we are becoming more and more, kind of a decentralized and trying to be isolated kind of a thing. But to be honest, if you go back with the life that we used to have, where we are socially highly connected to each other, the children were protected, families were protected because we are part of a large family. Now take the same thing in the IT world as well. If you're working in an organization, the networking helps a lot, because that makes someone not feel isolated within the environment, right? And especially when you have a choice to work from home, there you have more possibilities to feel isolated within the organization. The networking works a lot because that brings people together. So that is what I mean. Say either you start like for us, I used to start like say monthly Friday fun kind of a thing. Just bring people together, have fun. No technical talks at all nonsense. Let them speak whatever, except unsocial language and all, or unethical things. But anything they wish to have as a part of entertainment, have fun. Leaders are going to be part of it, anybody is going to be part of it, but it's going to be completely informal. So that helps to create a community, that helps to gap the bridge between your leaders and your juniors, and they feel connected with the environment. So that is one part of it. The other is that you ask how the networking has helped for me as a part of my career. It has helped for me as well. What is on social networking? You go for LinkedIn, right? You look for a job, you look for opportunity, you look for learning. Everything works as a part of networking. It's still a networking, right? Or you reach out to somebody that you take their advice, that becomes a networking. You reach out to somebody to learn something, that becomes a part of kind of a networking. So networking helps anybody, because if you are into isolation, then at some point when you need people, you will not be part of those kind of groups. So yes, I mean networking is a very core factor as a part of your growth. Yeah, I think it's a tricky question. Regret of my life, right? I would say it's not as such a regret, but yes, I mean maybe I could have spent more time on the music. That's something that I feel that I missed it, because and rather this is my advice to everyone, that always keep some passion with you in through your life. Because one is your professional life, which will help you for your bread and butter and make you doing what you may or may not like to do. Because as I said, like not everything is going to be on the way you feel. Because हर किसी को मुकम्मल जहाँ नहीं मिलता, right? Everybody doesn't get what they feel like doing it. But at the same time, you keep a passion with you, like if you have an interest in music, if you have an interest on sports or anything, keep one life with you, so that if you are stressed out for something, at least you can release your stress by doing that. I mean, sometimes I do that, like when I feel more stressed out, I just play some instrument and I just release some of my frustration out of something. So it helps a lot, and that is what it has helped me. But unfortunately, yes, I mean, I could not really take this part that seriously. Maybe I could have taken it, music as a part of. That's my little regret, as to I could have. Otherwise, God has given enough to me as a part of, like where I am versus where I was. Yeah. So what I would say that as being like a student, or like your initial budding career, what do you want to cultivate as a part of your nature, as a part of your future, or as a part of your growth, is to bring these kind of things that we just discussed during the entire interview process. If you are a young buddy, what kind of say different areas that you should be looking for. Don't just focus on to science versus art versus other kind of areas. See what you interest more on. Do your best, do your 100%, give your 100% as much as possible to the area that interests you the most. I keep saying, like the cultivate is really a good word to say, that keep cultivating to to nurture new skills, keep cultivating to be respectful to others, keep cultivating to show the kind of togetherness, cooperative to each other kind of a thing. So this is a beautiful word that has been adopted, and I would say that ensure that this you bring it as a part of your life, and be the best what you can be as a part of an organization where you work for.